designed to operate at supersonic speed that is twice the speed of light, with advanced stealth technology and equipped with the most lethal weapons that has ever been created. Korea has left even the most technologically advanced nation, like the United States, in a state of shock as it tests its next-generation fighter jet with abilities that threaten to change the dynamics of modern warfare. What effect would this innovation have on Korea's defense system? Are the capabilities of this fighter truly unrivaled? Join us as we delve into the mind-blowing details of the formidable new generation KF-21 fighter jet that Korea is testing. The KF-21 Boramae fighter jet took its first flight from the Secheon Air Base close to Busan on the 19th of July 2022. This event, which is marked with a great significance, has put South Korea on the same pedestal with nations that have been at the forefront of technological advancement for more than a decade, like the most revered of all, the United States, Russia, and China. The development of this aircraft has put the country among the first few nations that have developed and flown a technologically advanced supersonic fighter, and several experts have wondered if the jet truly harnesses the capability to bring a change to the future of military aviation worldwide. The jet, which featured the national flags of South Korea and Indonesia, was also fitted with 4 models of the long-range Meteor air-to-air missile in the semi-conformal location underneath it. South Korea really went all out in the creation of this next-generation fighter jet. It was unveiled in April 2021 and recently went through ground tests where it portrayed its advanced capabilities and features, which includes its ability to conduct various kinds of missions regardless of the weather. It is being developed by Seoul in 2 stages to replace the Air Force's obsolete fleets of F-4E Phantom II and F-5E. A huge amount of $6.17 billion, including Indonesia's 20% contribution, was budgeted for the first stage of the development and is set to be completed by 2026. The second phase, which amounts to a total of $5 billion, is scheduled for 2028 and would focus on weapon tests. Mass production for the KF-21 is also scheduled to start in 2026 with the Block 1 aircraft, which is equipped with limited air-to-ground and air-to-air weapons, and by 2028, the Block 2 variant will be capable of performing full air-to-air and ground-to-ground combat mission. When the aircraft took its first flight, there was another Kai fighter which flew beside it as a chase plane to monitor its flight and report anything that might deviate from the normal flying process. The KI Squadron product is the 2-seat T-50 Advanced Jet Trainer, which is from the 281st. The origin of this fighter jet dates back to 2002, but it was not until a major event that threatened the security of South Korea that the plans to develop it were eventually put in place. In 2010, North and South Korea were on the verge of a war, and that was when the country realized its need for a new and advanced fighter jet. Several designs were considered, like the C-103, C-203, and the C-501, but the C-501 did not meet the government's requirements because it was a single-engine aircraft. Also, the deal with the C-203 also fell through, and the Korean government plans were back to square one, but it was determined to develop a fighter that would come in handy in case the conflict that has been looming eventually breaks out. Eventually, the C-103 upgraded design, which had a lot of similarities with the F-22 Raptor, was approved for the prototype phase. Due to its striking resemblance to the F-22, it was nicknamed the Korean Raptor. Now let's check out the design of this fighter jet, whose development has taken the world by surprise. The KF-24 is powered by 2 GEF-414, which is an upgraded version of the engines that powers the Super Hornet. It has almost the same size as the F-35, which is expected because they partnered with Lockheed Martin in the development of the jet. This weapon company made use of several advanced technologies in the creation of the KF-21, apart from some key components like radar, IRST, target pods, and RF jammers, which the Koreans developed themselves, and these technologies performed up to expectations. The aircraft is expected to fly at a speed of Mach 1.8, which is almost twice the speed of sound, and will also feature 3 hardpoints under each wing for weapons and external fuel tanks. The main air-to-air weapons that are equipped in the aircraft are the Iris-T from Diehl in Germany and the Meteor Dorm MBDA in Europe. The missiles are rumored to be better than even the missiles developed by the United States. Seoul plans to deliver the Republic of Korea Air Force the Block 1 version of the KF-21 as soon as possible. This first version, which is also called Block 1, will have advanced radar and infrared systems that would be utilized in targeting other aircraft. The Air Force plans to acquire 40 of these fighter jets by 2028 and another 80 by 2033. With a promised price tag, which is expected to be lower than that of the F-35, the KF-21 could be an attractive, lower-cost alternative, especially for countries unable to buy into the Joint Strike Fighter program. It also has significant export potential because it is expected to be cheaper than the F-35s the US sells to foreign militaries. Thailand, the Philippines, and possibly even Iraq could be leading clients for the fighter, considering each of those countries operates the same kind of aircraft. In the absence of more information on the design of this formidable fighter jet, let's check out some of the features of the F-22 Raptor, since they bear similar resemblance to each other. The F-22 Raptor is a fast and stealthy fighter jet that was developed by Lockheed Martin and Boeing for the United States Air Force. It was created under the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program for air superiority, which means that it is really good at controlling the skies. But it can also attack on the ground, handle electronic warfare, and collect signals intelligence. It is an advanced fighter jet that is considered a 5th-generation aircraft by the United States Air Force. This lethal fighter is the first to have super cruise, super maneuverability, stealth, and advanced avionics all in one. This combination helps it survive and complete missions, especially in difficult environments. This jet features designs that combine stealth technology with being aerodynamically efficient. Its wings and body are shaped in a way that helps it reduce radar. The aircraft's control surfaces, like flaps and rudders, are designed to be versatile for different speeds and situations. This fighter carries its weapons inside to stay stealthy. It also has features like a refueling system, retractable landing gear, and emergency tailhook for safety and survivability. The F-22 Raptor has 2 Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines that are placed close together. These engines can change the direction of their thrust by up to 20 degrees. The engines are fully integrated into the plane's controls and management system. Each engine can produce a lot of thrust, around 35,000 pounds. Its thrust-to-weight ratio is almost equal to 1 at typical combat weight and goes up to 1.25 in full afterburner. The way the jet inlets are designed helps in efficient supersonic flow compression, and it can reach a maximum speed of about Mach 1.8 without external stores and greater than Mach 2 with afterburners. It can travel long distances with 80,000 pounds of internal fuel and additional external tanks. Similar to the KF-21, the F-22 can fly at high speeds and altitudes, which makes its sensors and weapons more effective, increasing its survivability against ground defenses. It can sustain supersonic flight without using afterburners. This allows it to reach targets that even other aircrafts with afterburners can't. The use of internal weapons bays helps the plane maintain higher performance compared to other fighters because it has less drag from external stores. The design, including its structure and materials, allows it to handle the stress and heat of sustained supersonic flight. It is designed to be very hard for radar to detect and track by reflecting, scattering, or diffraction of radio waves away from the source. In addition to reducing radar visibility, the fighter jet has a special shape, utilizing materials that absorb radar waves and also carry its weapon on the inside. This design decreases the emission of radio frequencies, infrared, and acoustics, which also makes it less visible. The F-22 has flat nozzles that can move to reduce the heat that emanates from its engine, which also makes it harder for missiles that detect heat to detect it. Unlike older stealth aircrafts, it does not rely on radar-absorbent material, which requires a lot of maintenance and can be affected by extreme weather conditions. To maintain its stealth nature, the fighter jet has a system that warns the pilot when the radar signature needs to be fixed. It is good against high-frequency radars, but extremely low-frequency radars such as weather radars might make it more detectable. However, even if a stealth aircraft is detected, targeting and attacking it would still be very hard for missiles. Recently, the F-22 has been testing a new surface coating that looks like chrome. This coating would make it invisible against infrared systems and missiles. The fighter makes use of a smart system that combines information from all the sensors on the jet and from other sources. This helps the pilot understand what's happening around them and makes their job easier. Important systems in the plane include an electronic warfare system, an infrared and ultraviolet missile launch detector, an advanced radar, and a communication, navigation, and identification suite. The plane's software is quite complex, with around 1.7 million lines of code. To make upgrades faster, the avionics system now has an Open Mission System processor and a platform called the Open Systems Enclave. The F-22's radar is special. It can track multiple targets at once in any weather. It can also send out signals to confuse enemy sensors. The radar changes frequencies quickly to make it harder for enemies to detect. To be ahead of potential threats, the jet's electronic warfare system possesses more than 30 antennas that would help detect trouble and also provide information to the pilot. It also has other systems like an infrared detector and a passive identification system that would help it with targeting stealth and also enhance its stealth capability. A unique feature that the KF-21 might inculcate is the F-22's ability to operate close to hot zones. It can act like a mini AWACS, even though its radar is not as powerful as dedicated platforms. This feature allows the jet to find its target and also communicate with other aircraft. It has a high-speed data transfer and can also perform intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance tasks by making use of its electronic support measure system. This next-generation fighter has a modern cockpit with digital flight instruments. The main display in the cockpit is a head-up display that shows important information. The pilot can also make use of a force-sensitive side stick controller and two main throttles to control the jet. It also has an inbuilt radio system, and its control panel has a keypad for communication, navigation, and autopilot. Inside the cockpit is an ejection seat similar to the ones used in other advanced fighter jets. It has a sophisticated life support system that includes an onboard oxygen system and special protective garments for the pilots. During the test phase of the jet, an issue was detected and the life support system was improved to include a backup oxygen system and a new flight vest valve. In combat situations, the ejection seat includes a modified M4 carbine for the pilot. The F-22 Raptor has 3 places where it can carry weapons: an area beneath the jet itself, 2 smaller ones on the sides, and the engine area. There are also small planes countermeasures like flares. The main area underneath has the ability to hold 6 long-range missiles, and each side can hold short-range missiles. The main missiles that are equipped in the fighter jet are the AIM-120 AMRAAM and AIM-Yoke Sidewinder. It can carry a hidden 20mm rotary cannon in its right wing, and the cannon can fire from a covered opening. The pilot can see where the missile is aimed at on the display system. Even though it's designed mainly for missiles, the area underneath the aircraft can also carry bombs. It can replace some missile launchers with bomb racks that can carry either one big 1,000-pound bomb or 4 smaller 250-pound bombs. It can also make use of GPS-guided bombs like JDAMs and SDBs, but it can't use laser-guided bombs by itself. While the F-22 usually keeps its weapons inside, it has 4 places on the wings to attach external things. Each of these places can hold either a detachable fuel tank or a launcher with 2 air-to-air missiles. The aircraft can drop these external things if needed to stay stealthy and keep good performance. It is obvious that if the F-22 is the Korea's Air Force's inspiration in the production of their brand new fighter, then it is off to a great start, because the fighter is nothing short of great. Here is an important question that evaluates Korea's defense system. In case of an unexpected conflict, does Korea have the technology and weapons to protect itself? The simple answer is yes. Let's go through the most lethal weapons in its possession. Starting from its unmanned aerial vehicle, the Korean Air KUSFS is also referred to as a medium-altitude long-endurance UAV. It was developed by the Agency for Defense Development and Korean Air Aerospace Division. It started being developed in 2008, and it had its first flight in 2012. The development process came to an end in March 2022. This drone is a part of the Group 5 UAV system for the South Korean Air Force. This drone was formerly called MUAV before it was eventually named the KUSFS. The plane is 13 meters long, has a wingspan of 25 meters, and a height of 3 meters. It is powered by a modified engine with over 1,200 horsepower, based on the Samsung Techwin SS760K turbojet engine created for the SSM-700K Sea Star anti-ship missile. The drone can fly for more than 24 hours at a service ceiling of 13,000 meters. From this altitude, its surveillance systems are accurate enough to identify a specific seat within the Seoul Sports Complex, which is about 130 kilometers away. It can scan ground targets up to 110 kilometers away from an altitude of 10 to 13 kilometers. This drone also possesses 4 underwing hardpoints that can carry munitions. The KUSFS was supposed to be delivered between the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024, and the Republic of Korean Air Force intends to get 2 to 3 complete drone systems, which would include about 10 air vehicles. They are scheduled to be unveiled by 2025, with all deliverables expected to be concluded by 2028. South Korea's defense system is not limited to fighter jets and drones alone. It also has war tanks in its possession as well. The K2 Black Panther tank was designed by the Agency for Defense Development and was developed by Hyundai Totem. The tank was developed as an attempt to meet the needs of the Republic of Korea's army in the 1990s. The army needed a tank that was fast and can operate in a 3-dimensional way using advanced warfare strategies. The production of the tanks began in 2013 and was first used by the South Korean Armed Forces in July 2014. South Korea went ahead to work on developing a new gun and its ammunition for tanks. They were already in the process of developing a tank gun known as KM-256 when they learned how bullets move inside and outside the tanks and how the bullets would perform when it hits a target. This led to them also figuring out a way to make sled-sharpening tungsten penetrators for special bullets. With their newly found knowledge, the engineers decided to make a more powerful Jin with a longer barrel and a better propellant that would work efficiently with NATO ammunition. They also had to figure out how to make the gun resistant to hear and also stabilize the projectiles. The Black Panther has a special gun which possesses the ability to hit a target accurately and with precision. This special gun is called the CN08 120mm, uses a unique autoloader like the one which can be found in the Leclerc tank, and can shoot up to 10 rounds in a minute. The automatic loader can identify different bullets of ammunition using a laser barcode and close the right one for the mission. The tank can carry up to 40 rounds of ammunition for its main gun. The main bullet that the K2 tank makes use of were made by the ADD and Pungsan Corporation. The K279 is designed to penetrate even armored targets with its self-sharpening technology, while the K280 is a versatile round that is designed to explode near a target. It is useful against all types of targets and enemies, including low-flying helicopters. It also makes use of other weapons like the 12.7mm K6 heavy machine gun and a 7.62mm M60E2 coaxial machine gun. The coaxial machine gun is made easy to use by reducing the force needed to pull the trigger. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.